My apologies if my voice sounds weird. I seem to have caught a bit of a cold. Pokémon Battle Revolution, the somewhat forgotten gem during the early Wii days, who holds true to its title, We Only Battle. I think the revolution part of its name holds some of its weight as well. Not all, but some. As it is with Pokémon with every game, there has to be a gimmick. For this game, Nintendo wanted us to connect to our Generation 4 DS games, enabling us to store our Pokémon in Battle Revolution. With the stored Pokémon, we were able to create custom passes to use. If you don't have the Gen 4 games on the DS, or if you couldn't connect to the game, then you'll be forced to use the rental passes they provide in the base game. Young me got this game on the Wii many years ago, and couldn't really finish it for some reason. That was with custom passes and modified teams for my Diamond team. So for this video, I aim to exclusively use the rental passes only, conquering Poketopia with run-of-the-mill Pokemon. Not a terribly hard thing to do, mind you, but it's a nice in-your-face moment for my younger self. With all that said, hello. Consider fiddling with the sub button if you haven't, and fiddle with your keyboards and mouse to further fiddle with the fiddly algorithm. Pokemon Battle Revolution was done by Genius Sonority, the very same ones who did Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness. They even did Pokemon Cafe Mix, a game that came out as recent as 2020. Battle Revolution was released in 2006, and it was nothing groundbreaking per se, but it did take the good bits out of Coliseum and Gale of Darkness. That is, the battle animations. For a game released in 2006, Battle Revolution had a really engaging set of battle animations and graphics, expanding upon their work from Coliseum and Gale of Darkness. This game obviously lacked the story-driven setting of the two aforementioned games, but with a game designed to be a quasi-expansion to the Generation 4 games, we got what was advertised. So does that justify the game? Not exactly. This game needed a lot more single-player content to be much more enjoyable. The fact that we had to connect to our DSs to fully unlock the game also didn't help. I would say this game deserved the reviews it got. But we are not here to review the game. We are here to defeat the Poketopia Master and be crowned the champion, so off we go to do just that. The game opens with a choice of two rental passes. I chose the boy one because of the objectively better movesets. We'll also get a chance to unlock more rental passes later on in the game. Battle Revolution has a total of 11 arenas and coliseums in the game, with each boasting a varying number of battles and gimmicks. We fight through a gauntlet of battles to reach the Coliseum leader, and best them to unlock more coliseums. First up was the Main Street Coliseum with a series of knockout battles. Before every battle, we mostly have to choose 3 from our team of 6. This turns into a game of anticipation, but it shouldn't matter too much in the early coliseums. We got over the grunts fairly easily and reached the first Coliseum leader, Taylor, after 5 consecutive battles. Here we were in for a really tough battle, as Taylor sent out her Bonsly. I chose the correct opening Pokemon with Grotle and used a Razor Leaf, which obviously missed. 2 turns later, the Bonsly was chopped to bits. Herculia was up next, who went down after a gentle nibble from Grotle. The Luxio was her last Pokemon, and Grotle pretty much outlasted the electric Pokemon with Razor Leaves and a leech sheet setup. All in all, a pretty smooth Coliseum experience. Since we couldn't create custom passes, we went right ahead and customized his rental pass we'll be using for this run. Perfect. We went to Gateway Coliseum next, where we had the option to choose the other rental pass available at the beginning, the female counterpart. I chose to use this new rental pass because I thought the more option we had, the better, but this team was honestly a drag to use. It's not that much different stats-wise, but the move pool of this pass was quite lacking. While going through the trainers in this Coliseum, I felt like we would have done much better with the other rental pass. This Rhyhorn and the Pidgeot was probably the best of the bunch, but that was about it. It was finally time for the Coliseum leader Joe, who we'll be seeing a couple of more times later. The Gateway Coliseum was the only place where we could obtain new rental passes. Joe opened with a Drifloon, who quickly put our Pidgeot to sleep, and every time one of our Pokemon goes to sleep, it just takes forever for them to wake up in this game. We switched to Charmeleon and promptly took out the balloon Pokemon with a bite. Joe fortunately sent out a Delibird after, and we were able to take it out after a couple of tries. Then came out the Mudkip. I honestly thought this was going to be a breeze, but this Mudkip managed to take out our Charmeleon and Pidgeot with waterfalls. This little creature was a beast. It ended up being a battle of endurance between our Wartortle and the Mudkip, considering the leftovers the Mudkip had, but after a couple of stat-inducing moves, we pulled off a Rain Dance and drowned the Mudkip with water pulses. This was harder than I thought it was going to be. We got the new rental pass and unlocked another Coliseum. Off we go to the Waterfall Coliseum, where they held team-style battles. That was just another fancy name for a best 3 out of 5 system, which played out exactly like it sounded. This also meant we were not able to switch out our Pokemon for each bout. We went back to the full rental pass, wiping most of the trainers on the way to the leader. Marine sent out her Poliwhirl first, and we made a decent guess with Luxio here. Except this Poliwhirl knows Dig, and Luxio absolutely got annihilated by this stupid overgrown tadpole. Monferno was next against Marina's Corsola, and I thought we were going to lose for a second time. The Grass Knot didn't do much, and the Mach Punch couldn't do enough damage as well. However, the Corsola opted for a Recover and a Mirror Coat, meaning we pretty much just got lucky. The next bout was a bird-on-bird battle, where Staravia just spammed aerial aces from start to finish. Our birdie pulled through, bumping us to the lead. Next up was Marina's Wormadam against our Grotle, and this went just about as expected. Grotle opened with a Leech Seed and finished the battle with multiple Razor Leaves. This battle didn't start off so well, but we pulled through and covered our losses. With the completion of this Coliseum, we unlocked the Neon and Crystal Coliseums. Before continuing on though, we headed back to the Gateway Coliseum and put Joe down once more, obtaining another rental pass. This one was decent, I'd say, a good bunch of usable Pokemon here with good movesets. We moved on to the Crystal Coliseum right after, where we entered the tournament-styled format battles. There were a couple of harder battles here. We were in tight spots a number of times. It's important to note that while the graphics and animations were great for a 2006 game on the Wii, the battles did feel really slow. That might be because of the wait times in between animations though. While the battles were in motion, the Pokemon's movements and animations did feel very impactful. In any case, here we are at the finals, time to face Volden. Crystal Coliseum was a double battle Coliseum, so we went and sent out Grotle and Prinplup first against Volden's Machoke and Metang. We seeded the Metang and plucked the Machoke, but the Machoke retaliated with a beefy submission. We switched out Gabite for the dying Prinplup, and eventually took out the Machoke with an aerial ace in the next turn. In the same turn, Grotle managed to hold on after the physical abuse. Gabite missed her attack in the next turn, and Grotle ate some dirt. Prinplup went out again, only to consume feces soon after. Monferno and Gabite ganged up on the Onix with a crit Mach Punch and Dragon Pulse, taking out the giant rock snake. The Metang experienced a Leech Seed seizure after, succumbing to its planty death. It was looking bad for a spell, but with Volden's last Pokemon being only an Elekid, Monferno safely ended the battle. We cleared the Crystal Coliseum and set our sights at the Neon Coliseum next. I wasn't too keen on doing this one. Man, the Pokemon wheel. We spin the wheel, stop the roulette, and get the Pokemon it landed on. For the first 3 rounds, I didn't quite get the timing right and ended up with a stall battle for one of them. This was extremely painful. Roselia didn't have any good moves, so we resorted to stall healing tactics because of the Black Sludge. The poison on the Patchy really helped, and we won this battle after about 15 minutes. I'm not exaggerating here. After that battle, we got the hang of the roulette and managed to get a decent lineup for the final battle. Every type advantage was in our favor for the opening set, and we finished the first set of Pokemon pretty quickly. By turn 2, Rosie's Grotle and Symflora were down for the count. Her Prinplup and Weepinbell attempted to put up a fight, but it was a little too late. We beat yet another Coliseum leader, unlocking new options. Sunny Park Coliseum was next, and we were back to the standard knockout battle style. The format stayed with double battles, and we used the same team this time over. We spent about 30 minutes beating the grunts and finally reached Sachet. Sachet? Sachet? I don't know. She let Sharam and Lopunny, and we sent out Monferno and Grotle. I wasn't playing too smart in this battle, my switching around to Gabite didn't help either. I severely underestimated her cast form and ultimately lost the battle. I thought I was going to have to reset the Coliseum run and go through all the trainers again, but apparently I had 2 perfect battles so far, meaning I can retry this battle immediately. The opening was similar to the previous battle, with the only difference being the Sharam swapped out for a Plusle. This Plusle actually hit really hard with its Thunderbolts, seeing as it almost took out our Monferno here while we ganged up on the Lopunny. We successfully took out the waifu Pokemon first, and her Sharam was next. Before we could do anything, Monferno was taken out by a Thunderbolt and we had Grotle seed the Plusle. We sent out Staravia next, and this honestly felt like another bad end, until the Plusle aimed a Thunderbolt at Grotle. Staravia used U-turn on the Sharam and we switched it to Luxio. Grotle used Bite on the Plusle and the Sharam underwent a Sailor Moon transformation. Luxio took out the Plusle with a quick attack and Grotle was fried with a Solar Beam. Not the worst way to go, honestly. In the end, it was our Luxio and Staravia against Sachet, Shuckle, and Sharam. There was nothing really extraordinary worth noting here. We ended the Sharam pretty quickly and just whittled down the Shuckle's health over the course of 4 to 5 turns. Not the best play, but at least it got the job done. Sunset Coliseum next, one of my favorite Coliseums in the whole game. The whole sunset behind a broken down ruin was just an aesthetic that I can get down and boogie with. This Coliseum employed the use of rental battles, where before every battle we got to choose 4 Pokemon out of a selection of 12. At the end, it all boiled down to who had the Pokemon with the best moves as usual. The Coliseum leader Dusty was obviously a Lucario stan. Look at this guy. His battling skills left a lot to be desired though. Our Gabite took out most of the opposing dragon's health, and our Luxio finished it with an Ice Fang. Dusty sent out his Grovyle next after our Gabite got poisoned and dealt a good chunk of damage with a Leaf Blade. With Gabite missing the Dragon Rush, I thought we weren't going to be able to finish the Grovyle in this turn, but Luxio proved us wrong. To top it off, Gabite survived this crucial turn. Dusty's Vigoroth nearly took out Luxio with a Body Slam, and our Dragon Rush was able to hit this time. Luxio scored a clutch Crit Spark, dragging down the Vigoroth to the pits of Poketopia. The Riolu, who had been working poison jabs on Gabite this whole time, finally accomplished its life's goal. Then, it got flipped by our Combusken and Luxio. Poor kid. At the Magma Coliseum, we encountered a round-robin system. In this Coliseum, we gained more points depending on the number of Pokemon left after each round. This didn't really apply to us as we won every round with plenty of Pokemon left. After winning the round-robin tournament, we get the right to face Terrell, this Groudon cosplaying boy. Well, we're no better off though. We proudly stand the Pika Pika. It's a single battle effort this time, with Terrell leading with Quilava. We picked Staravia first, so unfortunately we had to U-turn to switch out after incurring a bit of damage. Prinplup ate a Flame Wheel on the switch, but it resulted in nothing significant. Prinplup shot out a Water Pulse and ended the Quilava, only receiving a bit of damage after the Break. For Terrell's Charmeleon, Prinplup managed to make it rain after a sunny day, but for some reason Terrell decided to sunny day again right on the next turn. We forced it to rain again and ended the Charmeleon despite its efforts to make it searing hot. It was an awkward Prinplup versus Prinplup battle after that, with us trying to whittle down the opponent's health via plucking. We lost the Prinplup face-off, and Staravia immediately went down to an Ice Beam after scoring a takedown. There was no way Gabite was slower than the Prinplup, so one Dragon Pulse safely ended the battle. Things were getting pretty tense there. With the newest attire edition, I decided to finally perfect our attire, and so we reached our final form. Before continuing on, we went back to Gateway Coliseum and won the gauntlet with a new rental pass, gaining a set of more usable Pokemon. The avatar is this young girl, so we went ahead and evolved her to her final form as well. With this Pikachu superfan, we blazed through the Courtyard Coliseum's grunts and reached Kruger, Courtyard Coliseum's leader. Behind Sunset Coliseum, this was probably my next favorite. Kruger has a pretty cool character design as well. We've literally got Kazuya Mishima here. He sent out a Gligar and a Swalot, and we led with Dugtrio and Togetic. Dugtrio pulled off a lucky magnitude 10 and almost took out the Swalot, but Kruger's Gligar actually finished off his own Swalot with an Earthquake. Hey, I'm not complaining. Dugtrio pulled off a lesser magnitude in the next turn after the Hitmontop's Mach Punch, and did decent damage with a crit. The Gligar hit another Earthquake, which in turn killed the Hitmontop along with our Dugtrio. We sent out Cedar next and pretty much demolished Kruger's Gabite and Gligar in 2 turns, effectively ending the fight. We conquered the Courtyard Coliseum, leaving only one left. The Stargazer Coliseum. In the Stargazer Coliseum, we had to battle through a gauntlet of almost all the Coliseum leaders. During the semi-final bout, we had to face Dusty again, who almost gave us a tough fight. I think if his Gabite hit the Dragon Rush here, we would have been in real trouble. Fortunately, we got out of this battle safe and sound. Finally, it was time for Mysterio, the Poketopia Master. He boasted an alright lineup of Pokemon, but his character design was probably the most mid-bossy I've seen throughout the game so far. I don't think he looks the part as the Poketopia Master. I do understand the choice of the showman aesthetic though. In any case, he sent out his Kingler and Wishcash first, with us leading Dugtrio and Pikachu. The early discharge strat worked out well enough, resulting in the Kingler's demise. However, I didn't think the Wishcash could just one-shot the Pikachu like this. So, we sent out Sherem next, facing Mysterio's newly chosen Chansey. Dugtrio scored a nice slash on the Chansey, and Sherem took the turn to set up a sunny day. The Chansey Ice Beamed Dugtrio for a good chunk of damage, and the Wishcash just closed the deal nicely on our Dugtrio, sent him straight to the underground. Seadra was up next, and Sherem opened the turn with a very nice and chunky Solar Beam. The decreased damage didn't even factor in. I mistakenly chose Bubble Beam for Seadra. I forgot about the reduced damage because of Sunny Day. Didn't matter too much though. Sherem took out the Chansey with another Solar Beam, and Seadra froze the Dragonair with a crit Ice Beam. Mysterio was honestly quite a letdown after the few tough Coliseum leaders. And that was that. We beat the main and first part of Pokemon Battle Revolution with only the rentals. In fairness, the game only truly opens up after this point. The Master Battles were now unlocked. Here, we play battles against the advanced AIs, but there was little point in challenging those with the rentals. We definitely have to play with the customized passes to stand a decent chance. This video is a bit different than my usual format, but hopefully you've enjoyed the short tangent. It was fun visiting this game again after so long, though I reckon had I played any longer, I would have overstayed the welcome. Before we go though, time to properly end the video.